Show me how. What I want to do is explain a truss style roof to you folks, subscribers, followers. Thank you. This is a truss style roof. It's obviously not up yet. And you can see this one has tails, eaves, and that would be exposed at the edge of the house, and your wall would be right here. That's where your wall would end up, and then that overhang there is part of your roof overhang, as well as over here. Okay, and you can see that they've allowed for overhang. These here are probably butting in to one of these trusses, okay? Hence, that's why they're squared off like that. So how these things are engineered determines the bridging, the blocking, etc. So if you look at this truss, you have this cross bridging and only two between the slope, your rake, and your full span, okay? And then you have your middle cripple stud there, gable stud. And if you take a peek at these, they're held together with these truss plates. They're mending plates, and they mend the truss. All of these boards, these 2x, they mend it together, creating truss style roofing. And the advantage to truss style roofing is you stack a roof. You put this, all of these, you can stack these on top of a wall, and then you just pull each piece, okay? Or with the crane, but back in the day, we'd stand on the wall and we would just roll these roofs, these truss, we would just nail them off on top of your wall at every 16 or usually 24 inches. And you've got a roof really fast. Again, here's the overhang right here for your eaves. Oops, for your eaves. And then this is where your wall would sit right there, okay? Now, the disadvantage to the truss roof, one other big advantage as well, of course, is that none of the walls underneath this would be bearing. So you could have a giant room underneath these truss, and you wouldn't need any walls. It'd be entirely open. The drawback is you cannot infringe on any of the truss, or you would compromise the integrity of the structure, and you would have to re-engineer. So you've got 2 feet on center, that's it, 2 feet on center. That's one con. Another con is you don't have a vaulted ceiling, right? So it's just going to be a flat 8, 9, or 10 foot ceiling, depending on how tall your walls are. If they're 9 foot, 10 foot, 8 foot, etc. So you are limited. There are pros and cons. The pros are what? Full span, probably cheaper for sure, faster for sure. The con, limited on what you can do. You can't have a rake ceiling, and you can't modify them without tampering with the integrity of the roof. So therefore, you'd probably have to have it re-engineered, as opposed to if you buy the truss from a company that builds them, they're already engineered and stamped and tried and proven. So I wanted to explain this to you. I'm going to leave this video separate, but when I tell you about a truss roof, keep in mind, bear in mind that that's what you're dealing with, so you know what I'm talking about. They've all been mended together with truss plates. And again, this is gonna butt into, that one there is gonna butt into this truss, creating a valley, okay? And if you see that right there, that's a valley, okay? So you can see on these roofs, right in there, that's a little valley right there. So what you have is all these are all gables, okay? That's a side gable, that's a front facing gable because it's facing, that's a side facing gable because it's on the side, All right. And sometimes people, the front of their house, like the back right there, they wouldn't have a front-facing gable. Okay, their backyard has a gable facing the backyard. That one doesn't. It has the gable on the side. Those two are side. The front of the house has a front-facing gable that probably looks like that one. Okay, and that's a front-facing gable right there, creating a valley right here because of these truss. Those truss right up there are these right here, these big ones. Okay, and then again you've got the smaller ones and the smaller ones, and those smaller ones with tails are those right there. Okay, you can see the little tails, and the ones that don't have tails, you would take notice. I could show you if I could show you if I walk around to explain it, but I think you folks would get the idea. And I hope this has been advantageous and beneficial for you. And what you do if you build, then you would just find a truss builder to the design of your plans. And yeah, crane, block them off. You got a roof in no time, folks. All right, show me how. Just showed you how to determine if you have a truss roof or not. So you would go in your attic and look to see if you got a truss roof. If you have this, it's pretty certain you could wipe out all the walls underneath your roof, and you wouldn't have any load-bearing walls. Okay? All right. Show me how. Just showed you how. Truss roof.